We're back after some technical difficulties. Apparently my memory card was full, so that's why we ended the way we ended. But when we left off, we were talking about Cesaro versus Jack Swagger. I think this is like the third straight match they done had and since WrestleMania, and I'm getting a little tired of that too. But it was okay. It was an okay match.
Cheeto versus Mandego route, but with different people.
I'm over that. Matter of fact, we didn't even see that this Monday night. Thank God. They finally got my email on Reddit. Top Plant and stopped putting them together. Put them on the dark match. Nobody wants to see that anymore. So, you know, he had Cesaro over Jack Swagger. I'm not sure how long they're going to go with that feud. I still think they need to feud over their music because, you know, he's coming out and people are booing him.
Because he's with Paul Heyman.
Okay, but still, when he joined Paul Heyman, everybody was cheering. Everybody was cheering him. And when he came out after he won it, everybody was waiting for the music, but it didn't happen. It's like, okay, so what do we do with this guy? We want to be able to celebrate with him when he does his little thing like that. But the crowd, the fans are saying, the universe is saying, hey, we can't get with him because he ain't coming down to the right music. We never liked Jack Swagger, so even though he has the music, we're not gonna we're not gonna do that with him because we don't like him anyway. But Cesaro kind of grew on us, especially from the first day he did the swing. And it's like, oh man, that's kind of cool. Come on, and he kept doing it, and people loved it. Whatever. Got my Transformer G1 in the back. Greatest ever. Except for behind Dragon Ball Z. We'll give Dragon Ball Z, that was bad. But Transformer G1, G2. So again, Cesaro
won by a German suplex after a distraction from Paul Heyman.
Yeah, John Cena mentioned him too.
Grabbing, what's his name? Mustache.
So then you had Alberto Del Rio over Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes going back to his heel role, which I like. I like when Cody Rhodes had an attitude that he thinks that he's better than everyone. I think they're going to go the route that they went through before where he feuds with his brother Goldust. Maybe Dusty will come down and be like, come on if you will. This is your brothers and y'all need to hug like you did before because we Rhodes. Dusty always preaching. But I think they're going to go that route. But I like Cody Rhodes as a bad guy. Matter of fact, I would love Goldust to go back to his original ways where he just didn't care and he was just like, Goldust was bad when he first came. Love Goldust because he was just stupid. When they gave him the actually the things that him and Booker was doing for a while, that was funny. But I think you're not going to see Dustin Rhodes within 6 months. Remember, I heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Well, as he said, it looks like they're going with splitting the Rhodes brothers up, which, you know, I guess it's okay. I guess about that time because they're not winning anymore. But the thing is, I thought Dustin said he didn't want to feud with his brother. Maybe they changed his mind or maybe they're just forcing it. I don't know. With the whole Cody going heel again, I guess he needs it. Here's how I say it like this. When people first go face, they enjoy it. You know, the crowd loving them, they're getting with it. But then they start losing, they're just like, no, this ain't working. So they gotta go back to their old ways.
Well, Goldust hasn't been a face and a heel in like a very, 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 very long time. And I'm talking about when he first came to WWE, that's when he was a face. So, again, I like the direction that it's going. But it's like, it's alright. That's all it is. It's alright. It's this. It ain't this, but it's alright. Maybe a little bit like this. But it ain't all the way down. So then you had Kane again. That's what Stephanie invited Daniel Bryan down. Whatever, apologizing, whatever. I was hoping Brie Bella would go spear her, slap her, do something. But I guess since you're the boss's daughter, you really can't do that. So she did call her a B-word and stuff like that. But it was old school for Kane to come through the thing, but again,
that's all Taker right there. Coming through the ring, dragging people down.
You could have had 2 matches during that whole segment. She took about a half hour, like I said earlier. Then Kane comes out, this, that, and the other. Tries to pull her down under the ring or whatever, this, that, and the other. Again, it was just a waste of time for me. Again, why are they fighting for the championship when it should be Randy Orton versus them? For Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for the title at Extreme Rules? Again.
Because Randy Orton got forced into this feud with the Shield.
If he goes back to the Legend Killer, he won't have to. Bump the Viper, go back to the Legend Killer. So then you have Bad News Barrett versus RVD. That, again, that's my match of the night. Wasn't a very good match like the matches last week. Matter of fact, Rob Van Dam, the match he was in was pretty good because it was the second best last week. But I give it, again, I gave that match I'll give that match. See, it kind of made me sleepy. I give that match about a C. C plus. Again, it was okay. Could have been better, but it's okay. I think when Barrett was with Sheamus last week, again, you had two of the same guys. Same physique, same height, close to same weight, whatever. They match up well. Again, you have another big guy, Barrett, BNB as he calls himself now, versus RVD. And again, big guy, little guy, whatever. Again, it had its moments, but again, it wasn't like last week's.
I thought the match was going to be pretty good because it was a battle between...
Okay, you thought it was pretty good, but was it pretty good?
Let me finish.
You said, I thought
it was pretty good because it was a battle between two former Intercontinental champions. But, you know, the whole distraction was Swagger.
I got a question. How old is Wade Barrett? Because he said the last time Rob had the title, he was in diapers. And I believe him.
So, the whole distraction with the Cesaro and Swagger ended up getting involved in that little thing. And now they're in a triple threat at Extreme Rules. So,
that's one of my favorite Transformers, Omega Supreme. I love Megatron too. Anyway, so then they announced that finally, after 3 years, Dean Ambrose is going to finally defend his U.S. title on SmackDown this week.
Against who?
They didn't say who he was going to defend it, but it came down from Triple H that he was going to defend his title.
They didn't know though that he was like the longest reigning U.S. champion.
I'm trying to think. What is it? Was it a triple threat match? It's a bird outside. But he's going to finally defend his title on Friday, which was pretty good. Then you had the main event, Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. So Evolution comes down to the ring, and then the Shield comes out, and while their music is playing, it stops, and then the Nature Boy hits it. Woo! I gotta do my Nature Boy strut. Here's the thing. You can tell Ric Flair's old too, but he still looks like Ric Flair. Trying to hold on to that hair, but he still looks like Ric Flair. Woo! You know what this is? I'm just checking, making sure. Anyway, so Rick gets in the ring. I get it. Never been a wrestler, but I know when people clap for you, whatever, it's kind of like exciting. It is like a rush of adrenaline or whatever. Rick gets in that ring and the people are going just crazy for Ric Flair. And I'm thinking like, wow, and I'm looking at Ric Flair's face when he, you know, hugging Randy Orton, Triple H, and Batista. And the crowd is just Rick. They just loving Rick. And he's loving it. So I'm thinking like when Rick was in TNA, you got about maybe 100 people, 200 people versus about 20,000 people calling your name. And just, it's the same look on Ric Flair's face yesterday was the same look the Ultimate Warrior had when he came out. It must be something about 20,000 people screaming for you that just electrifies you inside or whatever, that they're just screaming your name, and because Rick felt it. But then that was all good, and Rick started talking, and then he endorses the Shield, and then he just walks out of the ring like he didn't do anything, which was just weird. I thought he was going to give some type of explanation, like, you guys are old now, you got to learn when to give it up, or you can't trust, Batista, he's only out for him too, and Triple H will do what's best for business, which is what's best for him, whatever. But he just walks out of the ring and leaves it at that. So we got about 2 minutes of Nature Boy, and then he was gone.
Well, they didn't really promote that he was coming, so it wasn't really like a big deal. But they also knew that he was coming, so I thought he was gonna come out in the beginning, but with the whole Cena thing, so.
But that was pretty cool. The match goes on. It ended with
no contest. I know. Reigns hit the Superman punch on Orton, and then the Shield started fighting.
I'm really becoming a fan of the Superman punch. Especially because Roman Reigns does it really well. And look at the height he's getting off the ground. He's not Kofi Kingston, but he's getting off the ground. Overall, I mean, Extreme Rules is this Sunday. We got the WWE Network. The funny thing is they said it's not going to be on DirecTV, which is weird. I have to look up to find out why. Do you know why?
Probably because of the WWE Network, because it probably had some big pop around WrestleMania. It could have been just because it was WrestleMania.
As a matter of fact, let me look up the WWE WrestleMania buys. Let's see. WrestleMania buys for 2014. Oh my God. It says record 1 million pay-per-view buys. It says WrestleMania was available in a record 1 million households in the US, WWE said Tuesday. WWE now said that there were 667,000 subscribers to its digital streaming network following the company's biggest pay-per-view event in New Orleans. While the event also generated nearly 400 pay-per-view buys. So check this out. So 400,000 people paid $59 or $69 for WrestleMania, while 667 paid $9. Guys, get your calculator out. We're gonna add this up. Come on, Simply.
I got it up.
So let's just say everyone paid $59.99. $59.99 times 400,000. How much money is that?
That right there. It would be 23,000. Wait, no, 23 million. 996.
23 million they made off of pay-per-views. And it probably would have been more. So let's go erase it. $9.99 times 667,000. So that's 6 digits. Okay, yes.
6,006,663,330.
So 6 million. So they made $6 million off of the network, and they made 23 million off of the pay-per-views, and that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I think still, even for WrestleMania, 400,000, 23 million, that's a lot of daggone money, man. Not to mention what they did in merchandise, not to mention because they got the all access weekend that they make money off of. But that's what's up. I was curious to see what they're gonna do, but it looks like it's gonna be. But you made 6 million versus 23 million. You still pay-per-view, but I know like Comcast had the WWE Network. I don't even know if that's still available anymore. I have to look it up, which was also $9.95. But cable providers aren't giving away no free pay-per-views or whatever, or anything like that. The only problem is that it's not in HD. It's in regular definition, standard definition. So I also said I was going to look up some TNA matches. I did look up a couple, and again, they had some pretty decent matches. TNA, oh my god, I must be tired. TNA has the ability to be what ECW was when ECW made it to whatever network they're on now, which was All Country, whatever, CMT network I think it was, or Spike TV. They have the ability. It's just that they don't know what the heck they're doing. They really don't know what the heck they're doing. And again, they're giving guys too much mic time that don't have good mic skills. The first person that had the best mic skills ever was Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan was your typical standard mic skills. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hurt you and rip you apart and this, that, and the other. But then Ric Flair just took it to the next level. The flying, the limousines, the jet flying, and all of that. And a lot of people went with Hogan's, but then The Rock just took it to the next. Rock took it out of this world. And a lot of guys try to come in and emulate what The Rock did as far as their mic skills and stuff like that. And unfortunately, there hasn't been anyone else out there that has done what The Rock has done. So, Simply's gonna give us a rebound from SmackDown and give us his thoughts. What's up?
Alright, so SmackDown opens up with the general manager Vicky Guerrero stating that the Shield is gonna be in another 11-on-3 handicap match.
Come on, such originality.
Then it opens up with a debate between Paul Heyman and Zeb Coulter, and basically Zeb's like, why do you take Swagger away from me? Not Swagger. Why do you take Cesaro away from me? You know, I'm the reason why Cesaro has his big pop now. Had his big pop, why everyone was cheering him for the swing and everything like that. And then Paul Heyman's like, I took him because my client ended the streak and everything like that. And he's like, that's not answering my question, you know. And he's like, because he's basically just like the greatest manager of all and everything like that. And because he won the Memorial Battle Royal. So, and then those two got into a little tussle, and I think we should let them fight.
Nobody want to see that. That's just Hornswoggle and the Bull Boy. Nobody want to see that. It's funny at the first. Okay, all right, let's go at it. But then after 30 seconds, it's like, all right, I'm tired of this already. Because you know Zeb walking like Fred Sanford. So I mean, come on.
Then we had commercial. Cesaro ended up beating Jack Swagger, of course. And then I forgot how he won though. I really do. Then oh yeah, but after the match, the Shield came down. Roman Reigns gave him the Superman punch, and then they triple powerbombed him.
I love the fact that the Shield went old school. It's not the first time someone's actually done this, because the Nexus did it. And Randy Orton did it, going around and they just dominate people. Kane did it, going around just beating up people, whatever.
Then Tamina beat Natalia, which was, didn't really pay attention to that. Curtis Axel beat Jey Uso, which was kind of back and forth match, kind of, till Curtis Axel picked up the win. Then Bray Wyatt basically cut a promo, just how Cena did on Raw inside the cage, and just saying, you know, Steve, I'm going to beat you, and, you know, I'm going to reveal the monster in you, and get on top of the cage singing, he's got the whole world in his hands and everything like that. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan beat the Rhodes Brothers, and again, showing more and more that they're going to break up, because Cody Rhodes was all like, you know, get away from me, I don't want to be with you right now, just need to be alone. Then it was going to be a mixed tag team match. Before that, Vicky Guerrero was on the phone with Triple H, and he said that she was being relieved of her duties for the night, and Brian Maddox came in to take care of SmackDown that night, but then he got beat up by the Shield.
I like to see that. That kind of reminds me of who hit Brad Maddox in the face and he fell down like, oh, Big Show. And you heard that actually.
That was funny right there. That was funny.
You heard it and everything. That was pretty cool.
Then it was supposed to be a mixed tag team match, Fandango and Layla versus Emma and Santino. But the Shield came and beat up Fandango and then threw him off the stage onto some tables that just so happened to be there. Then the Shield beat Del Rio, Bad News Barrett, Sandow, Ryback, and Titus O'Neil. Del Rio and Bad News Barrett actually walked out the match because they didn't have time for that. And the Shield basically decimated everybody else. So that was a good SmackDown. Shield totally owned it. Going after everybody, eliminating 3MB and those other guys. Swagger, getting rid of them. I think it was a pretty good SmackDown.
I forgot a match because 3MB actually won a match on Raw. Who did they beat?
Los Matadores.
Oh yeah.
So that was pretty SmackDown. Give it a C plus B minus because it was the first time SmackDown was actually interesting with the Shield going around. Even though it's not the first time, but it was just funny to see the Shield going around doing their old tactics and just beating everybody up. And that was SmackDown from last week.
Isn't he so boring, y'all? I saw, who was it? Was it Alberto Del Rio? I guarantee you, Dean Ambrose might face Alberto Del Rio for the U.S. title on Friday.
But will he win or lose? I mean, the Shield could be, lurking around.
They may, if they put him in a lumberjack match. But might be even a cage match. But I will reiterate one more time. I don't like the current format. Even John Cena mentioned that, talked it on Monday when he talked about he was drafted to Raw. Again, we got to break up the titles. You got to break up the titles because you got to give the other guys. If you're talking about, I put it like this, those up and coming guys that Cena talked about, they're not going to get a shot in this WWE versus how it was. Think about it. If it was currently with the unified champion world title, we would know nothing about Daniel Bryan right now. Nothing about Daniel Bryan right now. Nothing about Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, Mark Henry, Big Show, CM Punk. So
basically, the only guys would be holding would be either Cena, Randy Orton, possibly CM Punk. Mm-hmm. Just the big names that's up there. You wouldn't see, like you said, any of the smaller guys or any of the recent guys who are starting to come up more.
And I'm offering my prediction. I think CM Punk is going to be back by SummerSlams. SummerSlams. I think CM Punk is going to be back by SummerSlams.
Why SummerSlam? Because Stone Cold predicted that he's going to be back by WrestleMania.
That's a year from now.
No. He's talking about this WrestleMania.
Oh, Stone Cold drunk. I think he's going to be back by SummerSlam. Because think about it. You have WrestleMania is number one pay-per-view in the WWE. Number two is SummerSlam. It's the summer. It's the SummerSlam. It's the summer WrestleMania. Is basically what it is. 3 is the Royal Rumble.
It used to be, number 4 would be Survivor Series, but that.
And Survivor Series. It used to be when they had their old format and stuff like that, but. The Royal Rumble, so you had those big 4, and then you had the smaller ones in between, but WrestleMania was always one. I think Hell in a Cell has come up over SummerSlam, but it's also in the, what's the name? So
CM Punk has actually had some of his best matches at SummerSlam.
So I think CM Punk will be back by SummerSlams. He quit, January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months off, I think he's going to be back. He'll show up. I don't know who the champion will be by then, but I think if Daniel Bryan is champion by SummerSlams,
he'll be facing Brock Lesnar.
He won't. No,
I think that'll be the. I don't think that'll be the authority. I actually had a little try to think about it. I think that'll be the authorities' last ditch. He'll be like, they'll throw everything they got at him. Daniel Bryan overcomes each one, and then they're like, Daniel Bryan, you leave us no choice. We're just gonna have to stick the beast on you.
I think CM Punk will come back. And he's gonna demand a match that the people want to see. him versus. Have he faced Daniel Bryan?
Yes, he has. It's one of the WWE Championship.
Was it?
Yep.
Was it? Who won?
CM Punk.
Okay. But I think now that they're both at the top of their game, if Daniel Bryan still has the popularity that he's doing, and if everybody's still doing this by SummerSlams,
I will tell you this though, they can't go the whole underdog thing forever. They can't do that forever.
We'll see. So that's it for Talking About Wrestling TBW. For Stephen J and Simply Steve, we thank you guys. Next week, we're going to talk about the Intercontinental title versus, who was it? What's Dean Ambrose title? The U.S. title. They used to ask WCW. Here's one thing about WCW I used to like. Told you we talk history here. They used to have about 20 titles. They had the World Heavyweight Champion. They had the Tag Team Champion. They had the U.S. title. Then they had the United States title. Yeah.
They had the same thing?
It's not, but apparently they had it. The U.S. title. Then they had like a second World Heavyweight Champion. It was like, it was another world. No, it was the United States Heavyweight title, is what it was. So you had the U.S. title and you had the United States title. But they had like somebody, they even had a 6-man tag title back in the day. Of course,
they was talking about doing that in WWE.
They actually did. WWE did have it. But it didn't last long because it was just, who wants to see, you have to have 3 teams and it just doesn't really work. That's why WCW didn't have it for long. Unless you have a faction like Nexus, like Shield, like Evolution, like the Four Horsemen, it may work in that aspect, but you got too many guys putting together, that's why it didn't work that much. But WCW has had so many titles or whatever. So we're going to talk about, as a matter of fact, we might do a little board or something like that. We're going, I want you to look up, and since I'll make it easy for you, all the WWE top 6 Intercontinental Champions. Look them up, your top 6, and I'm going to pick my top 6 U.S. Champions. And we're going to compare your top 6, so my 1 through 6, so my 1 versus your 1, your 2 versus your 2, and so on, and have a virtual match to say who you think will win and why you think they will win. So look for that. Intercontinental Champion versus the U.S. Champion. So it's basically the Monday Night Wars is coming back, baby. Raw versus WCW. Nitro versus Raw. So for Stephen J and Simply Steve, we're talking about wrestling, and we out. Peace.